But that to me is like a no-brainer. You want to make money 6 months from now, just start, buying here. It goes down $1, buy some more. It goes down another $1, buy some more. I feel like this is one of the best looking charts. To me, it's kind of not a question of if, but when this thing starts, heading north. And so right after we got off the webinar yesterday, this thing was trading above 29 and then it went below 28. And I used that downdraft to buy the July call options, the July 17th. I bought them for about 85 cents. So I used that downdraft just saying, I don't care where this thing goes today or tomorrow, or whatever. I just feel like this overall pattern is net constructive. But as I said yesterday, this can, spend 2 months going sideways. It could just start, just doing this before it finds a way to do that. Markets always say, they don't go straight down and then straight back up. But this is starting to build, that super tanker U-turn where I think you've seen the bottom. And now it's a question of, okay, how much work does this have to do? I mean, you see all the work that it does here. You may have something, mirrored over here. But I do feel like, this is one of your more classic. If you look at a textbook, this is just a textbook bottoming pattern. And I think I showed you lift yesterday. I made, mid 6 figures, seeing the same, pattern in lift basically about a year ago, a little bit more than a year ago. So these are the things that I kind of really look for. And then I start building positions. I start, actually using bad price action like yesterday to get into cheaper levels. So it's like kind of the Wayne Gretzky thing, don't look where the puck is, look where it's going to go. And to me, this tells me where it's eventually going to go. But like I said, I don't know when. I just know that it's likely to go higher. If a market's made a bottom, then it can only, go higher over time. So, again, I hate to, talk about, highly risky option activity. But right after we got off, I went and looked at the July 15 calls and I started buying the 35s at 85 cents. And you can see it basically closed there. So this costs you $85 to buy a call above 35. That means this stock has to go to $35.85 to break even by July 15th. So you got kind of 2 months to see what happens. And, even at some point, the stock goes up $2 or $3, those options are going to, move a little bit. But, this is the difficulty. It's a low price thing and this thing could just hang out. And, 35 is still a good 10, 15% away. So a better thing is just if you start buying the stock with a really patient outlook, I think you'll get paid. How much, I don't know, but I think it's a phenomenal risk reward. This is how I make big money. When I start staking out and I see, things like this and I start building positions with an idea that, I'm very comfortable, whatever the market does, whatever it throws me, I'm going to keep acquiring. And so this is kind of, we trade every day. We try and find things every day. But sometimes I'm trying to find so here's lift, where I started seeing this on the daily and the weekly, where you start seeing, a bottoming behavior. And actually lift, is not as striking to me as Bumble. So when I saw this, and this is what I'm really talking about, is that, eventually this thing lifted off and I tried a couple of times to buy it here and took some small losses, getting stopped out because this just, consolidated a long time, these are weeks, right? So went 6 weeks nowhere. And that's what I'm saying with Bumble. This is entirely possible. It breaks out And then you just see this kind of behavior where it just starts consolidating the breakout. And this is dangerous with options because time is a decaying, thing. You need the thing to work quickly. And so, it's perhaps more favorable to wait for something. So when this thing actually started selling off, right, I wasn't getting panicked over this. I was looking at this. And so I actually started acquiring this thing right here, right on this thing. I bought the stock right at under 45. I bought the $46 calls. I bought the $47 calls. I bought the $46 calls for 90 cents. And by the end of the week, it was trading at like $6. So I made like 750% on those calls in that week. And then in the other series, and then I had the stock and I rode the stock all the way up. So it's always better to have the stock. I mean, these options went off the board that week. So, if you have a combination of, if you own the stock, then, you go for the ride. And I expect this, to see this kind of ride. This is the same kind of, this was actually a very wide bottoming behavior. It took a long time, but, bottoms. So again, now how much, activity we need to do to, maybe it breaks out and then it kind of goes to sleep again. But I think that, if you got a 6-month horizon, you're going to make money on this thing. And that's really what I look for. I look for sometimes these things where, to me, there's like no ambiguity. Zoom could, make it, maybe not. Baba could do something, maybe not. This to me is like no ambiguity. So this is really what I look for. And now it takes some patience, where if you buy into this, it could go nowhere for 6 weeks. Meantime, you're seeing the market go up and down, and maybe you're missing out on certain opportunities. And that's always the challenge to me of trading. It's like, okay, that's just, something you sacrifice for the future. But in the meantime, maybe you're missing something in the present. And how do you reconcile that? And sometimes I have a great deal of difficulty doing that. But that to me is like a no-brainer. You want to make money 6 months from now? Just start, buying here. It goes down $1, buy some more. It goes down another $1, buy some more. And that's what I did yesterday. It started really coming off. It opened higher, from the moment we started talking. And then right after, we got off, it just started, dying. And I just said, okay, that's when you buy calls, you actually want to buy, into a downward draft. If you buy puts, you actually want to buy into strength, because you're, if it's going to work, that's how you get the cheapest thing. So you can see it kind of opened up here, this left slash mark with open above 29, went to 29.50, and then started to dying. It went, under 28. And I start buying these things under 28. I don't care what it does in here. If it goes to 26, 27, I know it's going to take a certain amount of time to work this area. But I'm buying these July calls, and I'm hoping 6-7 weeks from now that, I'll see some kind of movement out of this area. So, we'll see. So that's kind of the plays that I make. And, these are the plays where I make a lot of money, where I can build a position, and I'll keep adding to this thing. I've got over 1,000 calls now. And, if it works, that's kind of how you make the money.
So you can see, 45, it's 1.3 million.
$1.3 million short.
So pop out a profit for 118,000 there.
So you can see how this is going crazy now. You can see how the market's just going nuts.
I bet like $1.6 million on this position. I'm showing right now $23,000 gain.